Oh, hold on.
I have my.
Hey, Bud.
Hey, Jen. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you. We look like sherbet today.
We do, don't we?
Yeah,
Rainbow sherbet.
It's making me hungry for sherbet, actually. Yeah, I brought my elephant with me today because
Very cute.
We're going to talk about the elephant in the room.
Mm.
Lots of elephants in the room, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, do we have anybody on the call yet? Not quite yet, eh?
Let's see. Not yet. We'll get there.
Yeah, there's this crazy world. I've been spending time wondering, about how humans behave when they're under stress for a long period of time. Like everybody knows what emergency mode is, but how about, over an extended period of time?
Right. Yeah, not a couple hours or a day, but ongoing.
Yeah. I mean, how are we going to all feel at March 13th, 2021?
Oh, I shudder to think. Oh, hi, Claudia. Hi, Beth.
Oh, I don't see the chat. Should I see the chat? I want to see, hey, Claudia. I am so looking forward to this every week now. And hey, Claudia, don't you love how we look like sherbet today? That just kind of happened. We don't talk about
that. Was not planned whatsoever.
So happy. But I really look forward to these conversations because I see what's going on in the world, and it's like a half an hour of feeling like normal, that it's just a normal conversation, whatever that is. I still don't see the chat. Should I? Wait, nope. I have to click it. Of course. Hey,
technology.
So happy to see you. So today we're talking about burning issues and questions that you might have. Hey, thanks, Claudia. Great release. I think you're talking about the promo that we put out about, I think that's what you're talking about. And of course, wrote this article about being burned out. And in the headline, it said, I was trying to say working from home, WFH, and it came out as WFM. Yeah, sherbet. Yeah. Just Weight Watchers. I just joined Weight Watchers. Awesome, Beth. Good luck with that. Yeah. And hopefully maybe they have some great sherbet that will help you on your diet. So Jen and I were prepping for today, and we were talking about a quote that came to mind, which is, when the going gets tough, the tough get creative. And we've been hearing from people about how you're getting creative, how people in the world are getting creative, given that this virus is not going away anytime soon. In fact, the numbers are crazy. I'm coming to you today from Ponte Vedra, Florida, from my home office. And Jen, where are you today?
I'm in Edison, New Jersey, in my home office.
Yeah. And so numbers are going up in both of our states, aren't they?
Yeah, I think New Jersey's holding calmly, to be honest, from what I see. Hey, Jill.
Yeah. Hey, Jill. Well, we're going up here in Florida, and it feels like every day it's a very fluid situation. And so we were talking about some of the ways people are getting creative, especially the stay-at-home parents. What have you been hearing about that, Jen, about what people are doing with tutoring and all?
So actually just today, locally, I saw that a young lady was talking about that she was a recent college graduate, and she was offering tutoring for the parents of students who are new to virtual learning how to do like the connectivity and maybe Google Classroom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Brilliant. I mean, frankly, a lot of assistants could have used that when everybody was forced to go home in a heartbeat. Not everybody was fluent in Zoom,
right?
Teams, right? Mm-hmm. It would have been useful to have, a class on how to check how do you check your bandwidth?
Mm,
How do you, the idea that if you shut off your camera, it saves on bandwidth if
right,
you're only doing audio. But if nobody teaches you that, when
right.
are you going to know?
Exactly.
So we were talking about how uh, if you have many people in a household online on devices, it's eating up a lot of bandwidth. And
Right.
so one option is to contact your cable company and of course they're going to charge you more money, but to maximize the strength, the bandwidth, the
Yeah,
speed,
your speed.
right?
Hmm.
The speed at which things are coming in.
Right.
But you don't know that until you're on a Zoom call at work, and then you realize your
What's
TV
going on? Yeah.
are on their games, and all of that is eating up not only electricity, but a lot of speed and bandwidth.
Hmm.
So thank you, Claudia and Jill and Beth, for being on this call today. Do you have any questions? What are you worried about? How are you getting creative in this workplace as we settle into what this thing looks like it's going to be for a while? I just can't believe that we now know that this thing is no longer temporary. Yeah, I feel like we've made the shift, haven't we, from red alert emergency mode to, well, this is just the way it is for a while, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I'm very aware that like the old rules don't apply. How are you getting creative? One of the things we're hearing more and more is that assistants, the leaders at companies are just giving gift cards, $500, and I've heard even $1,000 to do what you need to do in your home to make yourself comfortable, to settle in, to make it possible for you to do your work well, whatever that means. Vicki Evans was telling me she was on a call yesterday and her cat came into the shot and was, like meowing really loud. And she wants to get some new equipment for the cat. So to keep the cat busy while she's doing work. But I think that's really smart on the part of leaders to do that and not dictate it, not say, you need a new chair, you need whatever.
Yeah.
All I know is if assistants need a new computer, if they need just whatever it is, that would be the time to ask for sure. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And lighting, people, like, you don't think of, you're at home. You don't usually have lighting for work, and lighting that keeps you awake or can help you see papers if you never had, a desk in your home before. So many assistants started working at their dining room table and then had to go out and buy desks.
Yeah.
Working from their bed, and whatever works for you. I'm not saying that that's not a thing, but
you're definitely going from the land of the temporary to the land of the semi-permanent. So, hey, Heather Taylor. Heather's coming to us, I think, from Canada. I'm excited that you're here.
Yeah. Claudia was
go ahead.
saying, every time I think I have a good routine going, things change, the new constant.
Absolutely. And then what about Beth? Go ahead, Jen.
2 things: learning to pace myself. I used to sit at the laptop all day, sometimes into the evening, moving out of the dining room and decorating a spare room into a new office.
That's cool. To give yourself beautiful things to look at, or, whatever that means for you. Sometimes that means decluttering and just keeping it simple. But I know for me, I like to physically move to a different chair, even though my desk chair is super comfortable. I mean, any chair gets tiring after a certain amount. Do you find you have to do that too?
Absolutely. I mean, I got this. This is a gaming chair.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like I'm going to need a new one. I mean, I think I buy a new desk chair less than every 2 years. But when you're sitting at it for hours on end,
all right, so
it's important.
Sounds like Heather's got some news. Heather, just say, thumbs up, thumbs down. Heather had a job interview today. She's up in Canada. I was telling her, I was advising not to settle, to not,
Yes.
What's interesting about job searches right now is that what's important to keep in mind is that job description equals money. That experienced assistants know if you hear what the job would entail, experienced assistants can tell how many hours that's going to take and what level of responsibility that means. So let's see what she has to say.
Linda said, I had to get rid of my pretty desk chair for an ergonomically chair, which the company purchased. Oh, I'm so glad they bought it for you.
Yeah. And you know what? If they haven't offered to buy these things, you should ask, because good for you, Linda. To be physically comfortable translates into being able to be productive, right? If you're, be the ultimate assistant. I'm very aware of that. I mean, I know I want to be physically comfortable. In fact, I won't go back to a restaurant if the chairs are uncomfortable. It's really that important to me.
And now we're sitting outside at restaurants.
And those chairs are not particularly comfortable.
No, not the metal ones.
No.
I feel like, should I bring a cushion with me? Do you say something to the restaurants? Like, do you think you could have cushions, or should I just bring my own pillow with me?
I don't know. I mean, I was such a nerd when I would go watch my son play baseball because, the bleachers, everybody can imagine metal bleachers. I'm sitting on it right now, actually, my cushion, which made it possible for me to sit there for hours and hours. I think that's where I really got the message that in order to do anything of substance, you have to be physically comfortable to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, Heather. So it sounds like the job is still in play, not settling, 24/7 job.
Ooh, we got our fingers crossed for you.
Yeah. We all know it. I have to get a comfy chair, my back. Oh yeah. It's so important. And just productivity has a lot to do with being physically comfortable, having, not being hungry for sure. And that's important. And I know a lot of the sitting, they say sitting is the new smoking, right?
And staying hydrated.
Mm-hmm.
And coffee is not staying hydrated. That's staying caffeinated.
I have my elephant in the room mug, which one of my students gave me, which I love, love, love. And I'm trying to drink water all day long. Mm-hmm. So what are your questions? What's bugging you? What are you worried about in this new reality we have going on? We'd love to hear, hey, Carrie, good to see you. Good to see you. The gang's all here. I really look so forward to these calls every week, just as a way of coming together and saying, what is it that we're wrestling with? What are we concerned about? I really think we are moving into this time when it's, I was just hearing from an assistant this morning saying that the plan is that they're not going back into their offices until March of 2021, that decision has been made. Yes,
we're staying home, or you are now invited. You are now invited to work from home for a year. It was some big company I saw in the news this morning. Came up on my phone. Yeah, Jill, you're right. Remembering to take lunch, eat. Don't forget to eat. And if you're sitting at your desk for hours on end, and I have a friend who works a lot on her computer.
Are you talking about someone to be? We're not going to name names.
So I know you get your exercise, but I have friends who work a lot on their computers who don't get enough exercise. And that's when these watches, even the cheapest version of them, these watches remind you to get up.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, you and I sit for hours and talk and work, but then you have to stand up. Stand up and do squats.
And I don't know if any of you on this call have a standing desk. I don't know. I just can't seem to do it. Yeah, Jill, reminding to take lunch for sure. Oh my gosh, when I was with Olympia Dukakis, typically it got to be till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then my stomach would be making so much noise that it was like, oh yeah, I forgot to eat. That's
right. Like Heather says, not peanut M&Ms. But peanut butter with apples is healthy.
And we've got somebody on Weight Watchers here. And I've been doing intermittent fasting. I mean, that was part of the post I put out yesterday where, I mean, I know it's not everybody, not for everyone. Not all diets are for everybody, but this one really seems to work for me. Eating from 11 in the morning till 7 at night and not having to be crazy diligent, just not being starving, and then to eat enough so that I feel filled and just stop eating. Jill loves her standing desk.
Oh, that's awesome.
Claudia does too. All right. So maybe,
wow.
I guess.
I'm wondering, ladies, do you have a treadmill or are you just standing?
And were you able to do it like that, or was it gradual where you had to kind of get used to it?
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling it would be one of those things that practice makes it go easier, right? You love your standing desk. So what are we going to do with all of about all of this uncertainty and the fact that someone made the comment that the situation is changing by the day? It's so fluid that we think the numbers are going down with the virus and then they're going up again. How is this impacting the day-to-day over Zoom? And are people easily using webcams, or are people starting to not use them? And are people being prompt for meetings? Yesterday I was talking with someone about being zoomed out, kind of tired of Zoom. And I realized that's an expression that somebody said, wow, you should coin that. Zoomed out. I'm zoomed out.
Yeah. You're going to see that in the dictionary soon, probably.
Probably. Claudia plays music and she dances. I have to admit, sometimes I'll be singing at the top of my lungs. It's useful to go outside, get a breath of fresh air, to just see some other people.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bianca.
Hey, Bianca. I shot LinkedIn, a message on LinkedIn. Bianca, great to see you. We're talking about what's worrying us, what's on our minds, what's on your mind about how we're going to turn this emergency code red situation into kind of the way it is, temporarily, permanently, for at least a while. What is it that we're doing to be creative about the solutions, and how to sustain this so that we can be at peace about it? It feels like we went from one extreme to another just so fast.
Yeah. Beth says Zoom has definitely slowed down in our company, or perhaps they stopped inviting me. I doubt that.
And is that a good thing or a bad thing that they stopped inviting you?
And and then there's all these other platforms. So we have like Facebook Messenger. You can do video now and FaceTime and stuff. Linda was saying, how can we keep our jobs if economy doesn't turn soon? Yeah,
it is so dependent on the kind of industry that you're in. I mean, the good news is that many sectors are hiring, and I'm in touch with a lot of recruiters, and so I think we all need to be dedicated to posting jobs on LinkedIn. I mean, Linda, if your industry is the one where there's going to be furloughs and layoffs, the good news is that other industries are ramping up. Healthcare is one of them. I think the training, tutoring business is going to explode. And what else is going to explode? Mental health. I think we don't even seen the beginnings of what this situation is doing to people's psyches,
Right.
But I believe as a community, we really have to help one another get new jobs. And one of the ways, if that's needed, Linda and all of you, and one of the ways to make sure that we're as marketable as possible is to seek as much training as possible. And so much of it is online right now. But, Jen and I want to be very helpful in beating you to the right training. So so that your resume can really paint the picture of someone who is at the top of your game, and you can hit the ground running if you go into a new company. New jobs are being gotten. What do we have?
So Bianca was saying we can all handle a code red situation for a short period of time, but something like this cannot be sustained. It is so important to disconnect from the technology, all technology. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And that's easier said than done. Right. And there are some assistants who are reporting that their executives are expecting them to be accessible 24/7. And this is really the time where we have to establish some new norms. I had in the webinar recently, I had a slide up that says new rules, there are new rules for this new workplace. And there are so many things where the old rules don't apply. And in one way, that's freeing. It's freeing to be able to set some new guidelines to say, now that we're working at home, I want to revisit, I want to reset and revisit a new schedule. And that this is when I can go online and, we've got kids at home. So I really think we have an opportunity to set some new boundaries with our team and with our executives. Absolutely. Especially since, as Bianca, you reiterate that this is March and April and May was a code red emergency situation where we thought was temporary. I don't think this is temporary any longer.
We just got slammed into a new world. Allison is saying our admin team has been reduced from 5 to 2. As a team lead and EA, how do you motivate these two to be grateful for their job and to become more of a team player and take on new things?
Isn't that interesting? It's possible. What do you think about that, Jen?
Yeah, so that they need some coaching. It's I have a hard time. I believe that people aren't grateful for their jobs. On the other side of me, I'm like, I can't believe that somebody would not be grateful that they have a job right now at the same time.
I mean, I think without knowing the situation, Allison, I would go one-on-one with them because it could be that they're just feeling completely overwhelmed. In this environment, in this extreme situation, and I've said this a number of times over these weeks, is that, and this is my thousands of dollars of therapy talking, that stress and anxiety do different things to different people. Mm-hmm. And as much as we know about other people's situation, like those two assistants who have their jobs now, there's a lot you don't know. And the fact that, we used to know a lot more about people when we were physically in the same office with them. And now we're not. We're, everyone's isolated and in their own home. So now there's even more that we don't know about people. So what that requires is more time and energy and focus doing this. And that definitely is effort. For those of us who are extroverts, we have a much easier time doing that than introverts, for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is not easy communication for everybody. And on top of which, I know I've had my share of anxiety and stress over the volatile nature of what is going on. I mean, this is unprecedented. We've never lived through this before. Yeah. But it is disconcerting. I mean, Allison, we can talk offline about this, but I would recommend talking with people one-on-one and just say, how are you doing with this? I mean, it really boggles my mind that pre-pandemic, I certainly hope those two assistants who were left were asked about their new job description before they were expected to perform it. Prior to the pandemic, it would really make me a little nuts when assistants would report on a pretty regular basis things like that, they were already overwhelmed by supporting 4 people, for example, 4 executives. And then one particular assistant that I'll never forget told me that on a Friday afternoon, she receives a text message from HR saying, oh, by the way, starting Monday, you'll be supporting a 5th executive. And, what was missing, of course, is being asked. How about ask? How does that feel? I mean, the assistant was already overwhelmed, and to not be consulted about that kind of thing, of course, feels disrespectful, and like there's a big step that's missing. Would you agree, Jen?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if she didn't have a choice,
right,
to ask and we want to talk to you about this, not just dump the work on you.
Even you and I have had a conversation about this in the last week.
Exactly.
This is what I would like for you to do.
This is what I need. How do you feel about it? Let's talk about it.
Does that scare you? Does that excite you? Are you happy about it? I mean, how do leaders expect to get great work out of assistants if they don't ask that question? I can't tell you how many times I have this conversation where, why is that hard? I'd love feedback on that. Why is that hard to ask someone, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about doing XYZ before just saying, hey, you're supposed to do this?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us, Ada.
Good to see you. And Linda needs to learn about SharePoint. Vicki Evans is the place to go. redcapeco.com. Vicki is, she's very much teaching Office 365, and SharePoint is part of Office 365. I learned that straight from her. That there's all kinds of language associated with Teams. Teams is part of Office 365. And Linda's saying they don't understand what we do and believe we are waiting to be told. Interesting. Linda, that's a really good point you make. That in this extreme situation we've got in the world, it is really important for assistants more than ever to speak up and reveal to their leaders and to HR what you actually do, so that if worst happens and people are laid off and downsized, it won't be because you didn't reveal it. It won't be because you kept it a secret and you chose not to speak up and say, you know what, this is actually my job description. Pre-pandemic, we were dealing with a lot of job descriptions that were obsolete. In the aftermath of 9/11 and in the aftermath of 2008, HR is in chaos right now. That's what I'm hearing from all over the world. I'm in touch with recruiters in England and in other countries, and here in the United States. There's a big problem in our workplace right now, and I'm of a mind that executive assistants are in a really unique position to help the entire system if we think about the whole workplace as a system.
Yep.
Remind them what we actually do. Yes, Beth.
There we go. Now's the time.
I wrote the article in March called Now's the Time. I posted it on LinkedIn. Now's the time. If we don't do it now, if in fact there have been issues with you inside your company with HR and the relationship between leaders and HR and job descriptions, titles, compensation, now would be the time to fix it, because there's so much turmoil. When better? And of course, people have some time to do it. So, oh my gosh, we're coming up to 3.
Oh no, already.
We have some news and some requests. I hope that all of you listening have gotten at least one or two things from today. Um, and I would love to ask your help on something. If you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, we're playing around, not playing around actually, we're posting a lot on YouTube and finding out how robust and how powerful a platform it is. So I thank you so much. All right, Beth, we'll talk for a few more minutes. Jen, can you hang in there for a few more minutes?
Absolutely.
All right, let's hang in there for a little bit longer. So I'd love to ask if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that would be great. And check some of the videos out. And we're going to be posting more and more videos and interviews. We're finding that this is a really great way to share information with the community globally. It's so cool because you're recording this, right, Jen? And
yep,
we're going to post this.
Yeah, we'll share it.
And then what the other news we have is that we are launching Be the Ultimate Assistant on demand. Many of you have taken Be the Ultimate Assistant, our 2-day class that I teach with Vicki Sokol-Evans. And it is the hard skills and the soft skills that are so necessary for assistants. I certainly hope you will check out the website, betheultimateassistant.com, and the website specifically, the page for the on-demand class, which we're super excited about. It's going to be ready in August, but we're pre-sale pricing right now. It's learn.bonnielowkramen.com. And yeah, Jen,
there we go.
Thanks, Jen. Jen and I have been working together for 7 years. Don't we look like sherbet today? we look like you're making me so hungry for sherbet.
Sorry.
The Ultimate Assistant on Demand. And guess what else? There's one other thing. We were supposed to go to San Francisco on September 17th and 18th for Be the Ultimate Assistant. We had a full class scheduled. And then, of course, the pandemic happened. So we've decided to do September 17 and 18. For the very first time, we're going to do it virtually over Zoom. Vicki, you'll be in Texas. I'll be in Florida. And we are going to teach Be the Ultimate Assistant over Zoom live on Pacific time. So the class starts at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, but we won't be starting until 12:30 p.m. in Eastern time. So that's going to be an interesting thing, Jen.
Yeah. And you're still accepting new students if they want to sign up?
Yeah. We've had, some of the students decided, no, they want to wait until a live class. And my goodness, I don't know what you're guessing, but I'm thinking live events. I don't know. What's your guess? I'm thinking probably not until...
I mean, unless you're outside doing a concert in the grass with a microphone and people are far away, but...
What are we thinking? Maybe April, May, June of 2021.
Right. What did they say?
Until we have a vaccine, right? Right.
What did they say for Broadway?
Yeah.
Broadway, like spring?
Yeah, Linda's asking about Paris. We're scheduled for Houston on October 8 and 9, and I'm thinking it's probably going to have to be virtual given what's going on in Texas. I don't make these decisions lightly at all. I mean, I take this so seriously. I know you know that. Small attendance live events in 2021. Paris is scheduled for November, and I'm not making that decision quite yet. I'd love to still go to Paris in November. Who doesn't want to go to Paris, right? Who doesn't? I'm supposed to go to Paris on November 19 and 20 for Be the Ultimate Assistant. And, Vicki and I are determined one way or another, these events are going to happen. Because what we know is that the assistants of the world need training, right? The need is so strong. I can tell you that just today I had 2 calls with assistants representing companies, one in California, one in Chicago, talking about internal corporate training for their teams. And it would happen over Teams, Microsoft Office Teams, and in 1K Zoom. So Are Americans even allowed in France right now? Bianca's asking.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Probably not. Not now. I mean, here we are in July, so it's, you know, Anita's asking what, Jen?
Did we record the sessions from the weekend marathon of speakers for the fundraiser when Vicky was going through breast cancer? I think Lucy has that.
You do? Oh, that would be a great on-demand event from Vicky.
Yeah.
Interesting. Benita,
Right.
that's a really good question.
I would ask Lucy Brazier that, because didn't Lucy hosted it?
She did. I will ask her that question. I mean, that was like one of the first massive global efforts that we did, you know, in such a grassroots kind of way. And the great news is Vicki Evans is healthy and strong. She, you know, she's very open about the fact that she had breast cancer. Linda's saying that Lucy didn't record that. I don't know. Maybe that was 2017. I know that for sure. That was the year of cancer for Vic. And so it could have been that was, you know, before we had all of, you know, the technology worked out to make all of this happen. So I don't know the answer to that. But
no to travel to France. Okay.
So I'm just hesitant to make that decision right this minute, but you know, one way or another, training will happen for sure. Oh my gosh, this just feels like it's so. Miss Vicky's red hair. We've started using some of the photographs from when Vic had her curly red hair, which we missed, but she looks great as a blonde.
She does look great she is definitely rocking that haircut.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah. And it's, we've got wherever we go, we meet cancer survivors, and, Benita, hopefully you are healthy and strong. Just like in cancer, we need to support each other as a community. I know we need to come together at times like this on Facebook Live. Thankfully, we have this technology that helps us here. But as these months go on, I really think we are going to get and see more unemployment in certain sectors. And I just want to continually put out the suggestion and the urging that we support each other find new work, that we support each other figure out where the best training is to go, and how we can feed people to job leads, whether that's through recruitment, through companies. I'm posting constantly on LinkedIn. And yeah, she's rocking the blonde. You know what? I want to close on one last thought, and that is, what do you think about this? I believe we are going to look back at 2020 and we're going to remember it really well. Do you think we will, Jen? You think we're going to?
Yeah, I'm going to say, wow, we learned a few things about ourselves.
Well, and, you know, your daughter graduated high school this year, and, you know, but we remember those kinds of things. But 2020 is going to be one of those years, not unlike, I think, 9/11 and 2008, where we will remember this year. We will remember how people behaved during this time. I do believe that is going to happen. We're going to remember if people will help us with our job searches, or who did not raise their hand to help us. We will remember. And I just think that's an important reminder. We're going to get through this together. It will be a year of lessons. I do think we're learning a lot of lessons because we're on new territory.
Right. There's no training for this.
It's unprecedented. There is no playbook for pandemics. And so therefore, I am urging every assistant to really activate all of that creativity that you've got in your mind. about how to point that in the direction of your own life and in the direction of your company, because they need it badly. Our leaders are also thrown for a loop here.
Absolutely. And bond before I forget, we for everybody, if you're still looking we have for work. If you're looking for work, or if you know of a position, you're welcome to come to Bonnie's the BTUA Facebook page. And if you're looking for work, write that you're looking for work and the hashtag need a job. And if you know of a job, likewise, help wanted is the hashtag.
Yeah.
If you know of a job, help wanted. So, it's another place to let the community kind of come together to help you or to help somebody else find the job they need.
So as we wrap up, thank you all for taking the time to join us today. And thank you, Jen. I really appreciate you jumping in to do this with me.
I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun. So I want to end with a quote. Those of you who know me know I love quotes. And the one I want to end with today is, we can no longer wait for the storm to pass. We must learn to work in the rain. Right? Absolutely. So if we have to work in the rain, let us all get super colorful umbrellas, really fun umbrellas, and decide if this is the way it's going to be for a while. We might as well have all the equipment we need, including some really cool umbrellas. And I showed this last time for those of you who missed this. Don't get scared now. My son got scared. He's 33 years old. He got scared of this. Is my transparent mask. So I wore this to a restaurant in Florida, and the guy jumped. But I think I'm worried about communication, and I think that we have to let people in on our faces. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's so easy to desensitize and dehumanize, and there's so much violence in the world. If you can't see somebody's face,
right,
it's hard to hear, So let's get really pretty umbrellas. Let's get cool masks and make the best of this. What do you think?
Yep. I will play in the rain and jump in the mud puddles.
Well, that's a great way to end.
You got it.
Thank you, everybody. Heather, good luck with that job search. Let me know. Email me. Bonnie at BonnieLow-Kramen.com is my email. And I mean it when I say, let us collaborate and cooperate and partner with each other. That is the future. To divide it didn't ever work, and it cannot work. We as a community need to be connected and communicating. So please, you have a safe place with us for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys here next week, right, Bon?
Next Wednesday. Bring your questions, bring others with you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Check out the website about On Demand. Take care.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Bye,
Bon.
Bye.